I chose the worst design car from an aerodynamics point of view to go racing at Pikes Peak. This is the perfect race car. Volkswagen Beetle. You can't get any more perfect race car than the Beetle.
On the US, there was something that caught my eye down here.
Right.
On the left. It's got a big wing on the back.
Oh, yeah. Have you hit your head on it yet?
No, I haven't yet.
That's taken so many inches of skin off people's heads.
I am a motorsport nerd.
Yeah.
Especially rallying and off-road. Can you tell us the story behind that, please?
Oh, yeah. This was my insane project for Pikes Peak. So
you drove that up Pikes Peak?
I wasn't the driver.
Okay.
There's 3 events I've always wanted to do.
Yep.
Pikes Peak.
Yep.
Paris-Dakar.
Yep.
And the Baja 1000. Okay. But I'm old and wise enough to know that not necessarily a good thing to be the driver of those, because certainly not Pikes Peak. You got 152 corners in about 12 miles.
Yep.
A mile of elevation as well. And you've got to know those corners if you're going to push it.
Yes.
And when you're building a car, like for a rookie year, you don't really want to be the builder, the team manager, and the driver at the same time. It's a lot of stress to deal with. So I learned fairly early on, or realised fairly early on, it's probably best to get another driver to do it.
Okay.
So we got a great guy called Gregoire Blechon, who's the diesel record holder up the hill. In fact, all the record holders are French.
Yeah.
You got Romain Demas, who's the overall.
Yep.
You've got Sébastien Loeb, who's the petrol.
Yep.
And Gregoire Blechon, who's the diesel record holder. Three record holders, Kings of the Hills, and they're all French. Why's that? I don't know. So he was the driver, and I thought, I originally thought of doing an Ultima. An Ultima?
No.
It's I forgot the name of the company that makes it. The Ultima GTR. It's a Le Mans type looking race car.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously that's perfect aerodynamically. It's a race car, etc. It's set up, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I was very close to buying one and basing the project off that. And I thought, what am I doing? This is the perfect race car. Volkswagen Beetle. You can't get any more perfect race car than the Beetle. So yeah, I chose the worst design car from an aerodynamics point of view to go racing at Pikes Peak. And aerodynamics is a really important thing on Pikes Peak.
Yes.
Because the air is so thin, the aero effect is about a third less than it normally would be.
Wow, okay.
So that's why you have big wings and big splitters and diffusers and stuff on them, is because they need to be so big to overcome the fact that the air is so thin and the aerodynamics has less of an effect. So we took this to a place called Kate Speed Projects, who did a full CFD analysis of the car and tried to put lipstick on a pig as far as aerodynamics was concerned.
Yep.
And they made a heck of a job of it. I mean, honestly, the aerodynamics of this now is by far and away better than a normal Beetle. I mean, not just what you see here with big, huge front splitters, for instance, but underneath, there's lots of strakes and a flat floor that give a load of downforce around about here.
Right, okay.
So underneath, the floor is pulling you down, just like with the Formula One, not this year, but previous years. The ground effect.
It's a bugbear, isn't it?
Yeah. The ground effect is quite good on this. And then you've got things like this on the tops of the wings to let some of that positive pressure out. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun, quite frankly.
What's the power output?
So originally, the plan was to put a Tesla Plaid system in, which is 1,000 horsepower, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But I've built race cars before.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, before we go to the nth degree with the powertrain, let's put in a more sensible system. So I put a Tesla Model S performance system in, around about 800 horsepower. And it was a handful.
Yeah.
So I was test driving this at Alton Park and places like that. And on the straights, I would put my foot down and the whole thing would just slide around because it just had too much power.
Yeah.
I thought, we don't really want that going to Pikes Peak. So I'm going to put the Model 3 performance pack in, which is still 600 horsepower for a car that weighs, about a ton. So we put the Model 3 drive system in for Pikes Peak. and now it's kind of like dialed in. Now I want to put the full-on
Plaid in.
crazy horsepower plaid system in.
Where did you finish at Pikes Peak? In which class?
We were in Unlimited, I think it was.
Right, okay.
But with Pikes Peak, you can't prepare for Pikes Peak. It's
No.
a unique event. No matter how, hill climbs in the UK are Mickey Mouse compared to Pikes Peak. They're basically drag racing with bends. It's short, it's a sprint, certainly no incline issues. So even though we did lots of testing in the UK, when we got to Pikes Peak, it kicked our butt because there was power steering issues because you were literally full load like that, and you were loading up the slicks, and there's some pretty hefty slicks on here as well, and it was quite stressful, if you like, for the power steering to deal with.
Yep.
So it was getting too hot. So one thing we had to jerry rig while we were out there is this thing here. You see that there?
Yep.
That wasn't originally on there when we shipped it out to the US. That is putting an additional air intake at the front with dry ice here, cooling down the power steering motor that was there.
Right.
So we had to do a load of on-the-fly upgrades, let's say, to try and then get this thing to even go safely up the hill. So we were fighting it. But we finished about mid-pack, let's say. We weren't the fastest, weren't the slowest, but for a rookie year, they say if you can just get a finish on your rookie year, you're doing well. And we did, so I was happy with that.
When are you going back?
When I can afford it, because doing this wasn't cheap.
It's not.
But next time I'll drive myself.
Cool.
Because
That's amazing.
Although it was quite, some drops.
Yeah.
It wasn't as scary as people make it out to be for me, because I've done rallying before.
Yeah.
And when you are going sideways on gravel 100 mile an hour in a forest, and the trees are like a meter that way and a meter that way, and it's raining, and you're looking out the side window driving rather than the windscreen.
Yeah.
Death is like only a meter away for like 3 days of rallying. Because if you hit a tree,
Well, we know that, don't we, from Michael Park?
yeah. Well, or a number of people.
Yeah.
I hit a telegraph pole in Northern Ireland once at 80 miles an hour, and it makes a mess.
Yeah.
So when you're rallying, yes, the roll cages and safety systems are good, but you come off and you hit a tree at that speed, it's going to hurt. So having like a bit of a drop, it's no different in my mind than a tree at the end of the day. So when I did it, and I drove up a number of times, I didn't in the race car, I just thought it's tarmac, it's not gravel. Yes, there's some drops, but so next time I'm going to drive it myself.
That's brilliant.
So that was the race car. It was good fun.
Yep.
But we have unfinished business there, because the other thing was they didn't run the full course that year. This is last year, because of weather problems. It was a day like this, right?
Yep.
Blue skies, and you're looking at, and you could see the top of the mountain from the start.
Yep.
And you're thinking, oh wow, this is a perfect day. And apparently they had a little bit of wind at the top. I was thinking, in rallying, right, you would the rally would continue even if there was snow.
Oh, yeah.
Rain, hail, nothing stops a rally from happening, or very, very, little stops a rally stage from happening. So I was looking up, because what's the fuss, boys? Come on. There's blue skies. It's lovely up there. I can see the top. It's fine. So I was a little bit of this mindset. And then they had the cameras at the top showing the gale force winds at the top where the finish line was, and the porta toilets just blew over like that.
Right.
And a Hummer came down, because the army helped out a little bit up there as well. A Hummer came down with one of the side windows smashed from a stone that just blew
Really?
sideways.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, this is a different scale of weather to
Yeah.
what I'm used to in Wales.
Yeah.
So they only did the half course that we went up to, I think, around about just Devil's Playground area.
Yeah.
So, we had lots of issues we had to work around, and it was only half course. So next time we want all the issues to be nailed, plus the plaid like proper system in, me driving, and a full course.
Excellent. I look forward to that.
To see the full electric classic cars factory tour, check the link in the description.